I came across an essay by right-winger Ammon Bundy making a biblical case for freedom of movement.
No king but Christ, no crown, no.
Ammon Bundy is part of the same movement that Lavoy Finicum was part of, who was killed by police in Oregon in 2016. Different men, same conflict with the state. Bundy starts his essay where Scripture starts, Genesis 1:27. Every human being is made in the image of God, not citizens, not legal residents, humans. Dignity comes from creation, not paperwork. And from that, Scripture is blunt about the stranger. Leviticus 19:33 through 34 says the stranger living among you is to be treated as one born among you and loved as yourself. Exodus 22:21 says plainly, ye shall not oppress the stranger. God does not add unless the government says it's illegal. Biblically, crime is about harm, not movement. God's law punishes violence and theft. It does not criminalize presence. There is no biblical category for an illegal human being. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, if a man cannot provide for his household, he has denied the faith. Scripture assumes people will go where they can live, work, and provide for their family. When you deny someone the freedom to move to where they can better care for their family, you are standing in the way of God's design for humanity. Bundy, that's his argument. And I happen to agree. Now, some Christian socialists don't like the idea of people providing for themselves. They prefer a bleeding heart compassion that is backed up at gunpoint. Their version of charity comes through the threat of state force. But charity in Scripture is done voluntarily, not through force. Lastly, Jesus makes the issue of immigration and freedom of movement unmistakably personal. As a child, Jesus was taken into Egypt to escape state violence. For part of his life, he lived as a refugee. And later he says this in Matthew 25:35, I was a stranger and you welcomed me. Not managed me, not funded me, but welcomed. And it's not just always the Christian nationalist, who I challenge a lot on this show, but it's the socialist Christians too. They fall into the same trap, but from opposite direction. Both believe the state gets to decide what is right. The nationalist as far as where you can go, and the socialist as far as stealing from Peter to pay Paul in the form of welfare. But this tension is the heart of Two Kingdoms Tuesday. I want to draw a line between Christianity and the state. I want to separate it for good.